Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the brand new Kosas 10-second eyeshadows, and these are liquid eyeshadow. The minute I saw these teased, like not even launched yet, but just teased, I knew I had to try them out for you guys. I love liquid and cream eyeshadows. I mean, I love all eyeshadows. I don't discriminate between powder and liquid eyeshadows. I love them both. But I really just enjoy doing eye makeup, and one of the really nice things about liquid and cream eyeshadows is they really lend themselves to one eyeshadow looks. They're super easy to just throw on really quickly, do a single wash of color, run out the door, and I really like that option because I don't like not wearing eye makeup, but sometimes I don't have time in the morning to do an intricate blended eye look with multiple transition shades. I just need to put something on and go out the door. And so especially because this is marketed as a 10-second eyeshadow, I was like, I've got to try this out. To start off with, this eyeshadow is vegan and cruelty-free, and it retails for $28. I purchased this from the Kosas website. It's available at a lot of clean beauty retailers such as Detox Market and Credo. It's also available on Sephora's website. I'm not sure if it's available physically yet in Sephora stores or not, but it is being carried at Sephora as well. I have the shade here in Globe, which is a kind of champagne-y shade. I went with this shade even though it's kind of one of the more boring shades of the collection because I personally knew that this was a shade I would use and like. There are really cool purples, there's blues, there's kind of a raspberry shade, and a whole bunch of different bronzes and golds as well. So there really is a shade for everyone, and I really appreciate that with Kosas, that they decided to launch a wide range of colors and not just your traditional kind of more natural eyeshadow shades. I don't like to wear like blue or purple eyeshadow. If you guys have watched my channel at all, you guys know this about me, but I like that there is that option, and especially for non-toxic beauty, it's really nice to see that. The packaging of this is quite interesting. I think this is a plastic tube, but it's a nice weighty plastic tube. It's got Kosas printed on it. This matte black matches the packaging of, for instance, their blush and highlight palettes. It also matches their lipstick packaging as well. So it fits in very nicely with the line, and I think the foundation also has some matte black on it. So everything's kind of all coordinated, looks really nice. This does have a doe foot applicator, which you then use to apply the eyeshadow. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a demo of me applying this. First off, I'm going to show you me mixing this. I did not entirely expect the consistency of this. This is a super liquidy eyeshadow. Like, it is a liquid. It's not a cream. It is a liquid, like it will run on you. When you haven't recently picked this up or used it, it will be totally separated. There's pigment suspended in the liquid. And so you have to mix this product, and like you can actually see the two different phases of this product. So before using it, you have to mix and shake it very well. The good thing is you can visually see, because the bottle's clear, whether it's mixed or not. So I think having this clear packaging design was a really good idea. That way you can tell if you've gotten your product mixed thoroughly or not. So I really like that about the way they designed the packaging. So what I typically do is I will swipe the color on using the doe foot applicator itself. The doe foot applicator allows for you to build up the color the most. Then what I like to do is use my finger and then blend the eyeshadow out. I will just kind of blend it up a little bit just so there's no harsh lines. You could also use a brush or the doe foot applicator to blend as well, but I think your finger is the easiest tool in this case. A brush could get kind of gummed up with the product, and then the doe foot applicator, I think you just run the risk of putting more and more product on rather than blending it out. But where you want the application to be the most intense, I would just recommend using the doe foot applicator itself. That way you get the most intense color and pigment. And it goes on as a liquid, but it dries really quickly, which I appreciate a lot because I do have hooded eyelids, as you can see. So as soon as I look up, my eyelid is actually touching the upper part of my eye area, my eye crease. So with cream shadows that take a longer time to dry, I have to make sure I'm like looking down so that I don't just transfer all the color up. So having a really fast dry time is really convenient for not having your shadow transfer on you. This eyeshadow, I don't know if I'd quite call it a 10-second eyeshadow, but I'd say like 30 seconds. Like you can see how fast it is for me to apply, to blend out, and I'm good to go. I don't have to worry about building up extra layers of it. I can just throw this on and I can go out the door. If I'm running late and I just want to throw on a little bit of eyeshadow, like this is the way to go. I'm going to swatch Clove for you here in case you're curious. And I'm also going to do some comparisons of it with other cream eyeshadows, so I want you to be able to see the difference. Clove here, like I said, is this nice champagne shade. And as you can see, the shadow itself is very metallic and very pigmented. Like you can't see my skin through it. You can just see the eyeshadow itself. So in terms of the color and everything, it works really well. I don't need to build it up. I don't need to put on multiple coats. I have oily eyelids as well as hooded eyelids, which is kind of death to all eyeshadows. I typically find that this wears well, but it will eventually crease on me. But there's something interesting about this eyeshadow I've noticed, and it's that even though it creases, I can only tell that it has creased if I get up super close to it in a mirror. Even though some of the more metallic parts will kind of crease and like accumulate in the actual crease of my eye, when I look up in a mirror, there's still like a wash of color there. So even though some creasing happened, it's actually not that apparent, which it sounds weird and I don't know how to describe it other than like that, but there's still a wash of color left behind it. It kind of reminds me of like when a lipstick stains your lips and even after the lipstick is worn off, there's still a wash of color. It's kind of the same thing, but these are not, at least this shade here is not staining. Like when I remove my eye makeup using an oil makeup remover, this comes off no problem. So I would say it is as long wearing on me as something like the Crop Naturals cream eyeshadow. So I think they're very comparable in terms of longevity. If you have hooded eyelids or oily eyelids or both, this does work really well. And I honestly was super impressed because Kosas has their formula down. Like on their foundation, it works well on oily skin, and their liquid eyeshadow also works well on oily skin. I was not expecting it, but it definitely does. And one of the nice things about this eyeshadow is I've been wearing it pretty much every day this week because I got it and I wanted to test it out thoroughly. I wanted to really be able to give you my full thoughts on this. And I have not had a single day this week where I have been unhappy with how my eyeshadow looked, where it has taken me a long time to apply my eyeshadow, and where it has not looked good at the end of the day. I really don't have anything bad to say about this. Also, this eyeshadow does not sting or burn or make your eyes feel dry. As much as I love the Crop Natural eyeshadow, if I wear that eyeshadow too many days in a row, my eyelid skin can actually start getting dry, and then if I try and put the eyeshadow on again, it'll actually kind of burn a little bit because I think there's some alcohol in it, which is allowing it to dry down. This one probably does have alcohol in it as well. I haven't looked at the ingredient list thoroughly, but it's not dried out my eyes at all, and I would be able to tell by now if it had. So that's cool. The shade I have in Globe is a very kind of metallic shade. That's the best way to describe it. They describe it as a shimmer finish. I would say kind of metallic. There's definitely some flecks of glitter in it, but they're very, very small micro glitter, and really you just see more of an overall metallic wash of color. There's also a satin finish, and those are for like the blue, the purple, the raspberry. Those shades are the satin finish. And then there's one eyeshadow in the glitter finish, and that is the shade Supreme. And I did look at this in Credo. The Credo in Boston does have these physically in store if you're curious in the Boston area. But that one is definitely glittery. So if you want something with a lot of oomph and a lot of glitter, that's a good option. Otherwise, I think they're more kind of along this finish. Would I pick up another shade of this? I don't know, because here's the thing is I really thought about this when I was picking out the shade Globe. I wanted a shade that I would wear a lot, and Globe is the shade I would wear a lot. The other shades, while they are beautiful and I love the formula, I'm just not sure I would get enough use out of the other shades personally to pick them up. But in terms of formula, I would be 100% down. If someone gave me one of the shades, or I don't know, it just magically appeared in my collection, I would have no complaints. I would use it, but I don't know if I'll go and pick out another shade, even though I love the formula, just because the other shades are not quite as appealing to me as Clove. I want to compare these briefly to some other cream eyeshadows. The first one is the Juicy Beauty Cream Eyeshadow. I've not really talked about this that much on my channel because it's not my favorite. And part of the problem is the shade. I picked a shade that I shouldn't have picked, and this is the shade Mimosa. This formula is very, very creamy. So it's, here, I'm trying to show you here when I'm swatching it, but it's not as pigmented. Like, as you can see, that was one swipe there, whereas I'm having to build this up to really get it to fully cover my skin. And that's one reason I don't reach for this eyeshadow as much. In order to get my lids fully covered, I need to do 2 coats. And to me, that almost defeats the purpose of having a cream eyeshadow, because if I have to do a second coat of it, then it's taking me nearly as long as just blending a regular traditional powder eyeshadow look, because I have to apply 1 coat, let it dry, and then go on with the second coat. Also, like, you can see the difference. This is not nearly as metallic as the Kosas. Like, it's pretty, but look at the way the Kosas is catching the light. The Juice Beauty is just not doing that. Even though I have the Juice Beauty, you just don't see me wearing it often for those reasons. I also don't think it wears as well as the Crop Natural or the Kosas liquid eyeshadow. Okay, so for the Crop Naturals, I actually have 2 of these. I'll swatch both of them so you can just see both of them. I have the shades Gilded and the shade Saturn, and in general I'm just in love with Crop Naturals. Like, they just make really good products. Here's the Crop Natural cream eyeshadow in Gilded. There it goes. It also packs a lot of pigment, as you can see, and then the one in Saturn, also super pigmented there. And those 2 are also much more light reflecting. They're also much closer to the Kosas in terms of how metallic and light reflecting they are. I love the Crop Natural formula. To be completely honest, the Kosas formula is easier to work with because it dries down faster and it's easier to blend out somehow. I don't know how it is, but somehow it is. And so the Kosas overall is easier to work with. The Crop Naturals is a fantastic formula. It's very long wearing. As you can see, it's very pigmented. It just doesn't dry down as fast. I have to make sure I hold my eyes open longer to make sure the formula dries down thoroughly, but it's still good. So all that in mind, if I had to pick between the 2 and I could only have one, I think the Kosas is better, but it's a close second. Like, the only negatives for the Crop Natural are the drying time, and if I use it too many days in a row, it can actually make my eyes dry, but otherwise, really good as well. Here's what I have to say. If you are into quick, easy makeup looks, and you really want a quick, easy way to do eyeshadow, I would definitely pick up the Kosas eyeshadow. It's really good. If you want a very neutral, everyday shade, the shade Globe is where it's at. I wear this to work all the time. I feel very comfortable in it. I don't feel like my eyeshadow is too crazy or anything like that. It's definitely a great way to go. If you want to build up the look and have some more intricacy to it, you can use this on your lid and then blend a powder eyeshadow in the crease. If you've been curious about it, it's worth picking up. It's expensive, but it's also gonna last you quite a while. You get a lot in this container. It is 6 milliliters, 0.2 fluid ounces, and it's good for 18 months. Not that, as we know, not that expiration dates really mean that much, but it should be shelf stable for at least 18 months if you store it properly, and in my opinion, probably even longer than that as well. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you been curious about this? If you are, what shade are you looking at? What shade are you most curious about? Do you think you're gonna pick it up? Let us know all of that in the comment section down below, and also be sure to check out my Instagram. My handle's at naturallybeautifulgirl for more non-toxic, cruelty-free content. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!